The Nationals president, Andrew Fraser, has launched a blistering attack on the former leader, Barnaby Joyce, labelling his defection from the party disgusting. Mr Fraser says, and this is in The Australian this morning, by the way, the Nationals need to do more to promote their achievements as they prepare to fend off One Nation at the next federal election. He insists the party can hold its regional seats despite growing support for Pauline Hanson's party. And we may as well start there this morning with the National Senator Ross Cadell. I mean, would you agree with those thoughts, Ross? Good morning to you.
Different parts, the Barnaby ones versus the seats. I think the seats are an interesting one for us. We've got a lot of local members, and rural and regional communities know their local members, so that dual branding of the person versus the brand will be strong. Obviously, it's more of a threat, though. We have to honour the threat. We've got to be better. And I think we will be able to, 2 years' time from where we are now, I think we'll be able to hold the majority, if not all of those seats. But we have to do better as a party.
When you factor in the polls, the latest ones this week, you had the Resolve poll out yesterday, which shows a dip in support for One Nation, with the movement more towards the coalition and Angus Taylor. But then you've got a fresh Redbridge poll out today in the state of Victoria that shows One Nation out in front. I mean, how do you marry polls with your own thoughts at the moment, whether it is federal or state elections?
I just think that we did nothing for 9 months straight after the election. We didn't have policies, we didn't have ideas, we were really just parking it. A lot of people became disaffected and didn't know where to turn. I think a lot of people are parking their votes with One Nation at the moment, and they're there to be got if we come up with the right policies. It's not a quick thing. People are disaffected, and we have to come up with policies that have answers for the problems they're facing. So we're 2 years away from election. I don't love it. I wish we were up and higher and, triumphing over the world, but we're not. Yeah. But what really concerns me is if you look at the combined poll, I think the Conservative parties are about 49, the Greens and Labor are about 40. That should be higher. This country's going to hell. Combined, we should be higher.
Do you think you've got the policies? You said you're talking about getting the policies together. Do you think you've got them?
Yeah, I happen to be on one of the committees that goes through and has a look at these things before they're released, and we pressure test them. And I think we've got some really good stuff coming out in the near future. I think, what we've really been able to do, and one of the upsides of being rubbish for a while, is we've been able to go back to basics and reconstruct a whole lot of things. And I think people will see that we have heard what they want to do. We know where this country wants to go because we want a strong Australia. These things will come out, and I think we'll attract some people back.
OK, let's go to the an international story that we're leading with today. It is, of course, the Strait of Hormuz, and it looks like it's going to be closed. And now, despite what the US president says, because Tehran is saying something completely different. Anyway, the local picture is the oil price, right? So it's over $80 US a barrel now, so it's on the way up. What sort of fears do you have now about fuel, about fertiliser, about the regions?
And that's exactly right. Price is one thing, but certainty of supply. We have become a nation that is not energy sovereign, despite having all of this. We're going to see all those things again, and who knows, one press release today where total peace, tomorrow we're at total war. Who knows where this goes? Certainty is gone. So it's time to make the hard decisions and restore that onshore capabilities, especially in urea, some in diesel fuels, and stock more where we have. I want to see a short term. I think we have to re-examine the excise thing again in the short term. But long term, we should be building more capability in storing and paying people to store them, not just on the coast, but in regional areas. And long term, we have to start manufacturing again.
Just back
if
on,
we haven't got a plan to do that, we're just saying...
Sorry, Ross, just on examining excise again, what do you mean by that? It needs to be lengthened.
Well, I think if we're in this phase-out phase right now of what's going on, where the government said they're halving it and cutting it out soon, if this goes on, the war, and I think Trumpy wanted to end it quickly so that the midterms, it wasn't going to be a distraction. That's no longer an option. So I think it's going to drag out some time. We may have to relook at extending that past the cut-off date. And I would prefer if there was some inflation fighting modelling to back that. But I think that's a real thing we're going to have to look at. But the long-term things is build more, do more in Australia.
Yeah, OK. So, but when you're talking about perhaps looking at it being delayed or lengthened, is that at the current level or at the previous level of last month when the fuel excise was halved?
I think you have to go back to the previous levels if it's going to have that sort of effect. We haven't seen the effect flow through yet. So it's somewhat reactionary. You can't just say a level now. but I think we have to be ready to do what's needed to keep people moving.
Are you satisfied that there is enough fuel here now, that the government did get its act together last time around, and then right now, as we speak, as we go to air, that there is enough on shore?
There's more on shore. There's not enough on shore. We should be meeting the IEA standards. You can't just set an Australian-owned standard and say we exceed it. It's like marking your own test. You know, I've done rubbish in a test. I got 30%, but I'm moving the pass mark to 25, not 50. That's what the government's done. No, there isn't. There isn't enough storage inland. There isn't enough storage in Australia. There's not enough production. So I was at the Port of Newcastle when the previous government funded some new tanks for park fuels. And that's great. We got it up a bit. But these guys don't sell more fuel because they've got more storage, so it's costing them money. We need an ongoing basis to keep these tanks and turn them over.
Just a final one here. The Prime Minister's got a major speech tomorrow on AI, Ross, as concerns grow over the future of data centres in regional areas. I mean, where do you land here on this? We're gonna need them. We have the space to build them. We stand to make a fair bit of money from them, but many don't want them in their backyard. So there's a touch of the nuclear debate about this.
Yeah, but I think Australia's a big place. Some people will want them in their big yard. I was up in the New England, interestingly, just over the weekend, talking to a whole lot of people. And they're fighting the REZs, these renewable energy zones, and they're saying that but the real problem is the transmission lines. I'm saying, well, find things that you want where you create jobs in your regions. And some people up there, where it's close to the power, might want these things so they get the ongoing jobs as well as the power and they don't have the transmission lines. In Australia, there is room for data centres in the right place, and we want that data centre because we want that data sovereignty.